Hi, I'm Glenn Adamson, and I'm an actor singer.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Everybody's Talking About Theatre. I'm Leah, and I have a special guest tonight. Hi, Glenn.
Hello, it's me, Glenn.
It's me, Glenn Adamson. Hi. So nice to have you here. I think the last
Oh,
time we've seen each other was last year.
Panto, you came to the
Yeah, the
Panto.
Panto, the
You had your
Panto.
first experience of a British Panto.
Yeah, it was amazing. I need to come again for Panto because that was wild.
Yeah, Panto is wild.
Yeah. And I think the first time we met was in Düsseldorf during Battle of Hell. I think
Yeah,
so.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
So,
just over a year ago, yeah.
yeah, a lot of time have passed, and we want to talk about you, your career, and everything rock and roll. So, the first question that I'm asking every guest is, what does theater mean to you in 3 words?
Three words, I would say community, energy, and attention, I would say.
Ooh, I love this.
Well, for me, I always think like, especially in the world we live in now, the only time you really switch off and genuinely watch something, take it in, is
Yeah.
theatre or maybe the cinema. But actually, increasingly when I go to the cinema, I think, wow, people aren't really watching this. They're still on their phones. Whereas at least that's forbidden in the theatre.
Yeah, absolutely true. Okay, I have a lot of questions for you. I have some games prepared. I am so excited to talk about everything. But one thing I really don't know about you during my research, how did you even become an actor? Like, what was the turning point you wanted to be an actor?
I don't know really. I always did youth theatre, and my youth theatre, when I say community, I always think of that. Growing up, it was the place that all my friends were, the people that I'm still friends with from my hometown are the ones I did youth theatre with, no one I went to school with. I loved it. I lived for it. But I don't remember thinking, oh, I'm going to be an actor. I don't think it was
Mm.
ever a job prospect for me. And then it wasn't until I was sort of in my sixth form, so 16 to 18, I thought, oh, maybe I'll give this a go. And a lot of people that I knew at the time from my youth theatre were going to a drama school called Lipper, had gone or were alumni
Mm.
of. I didn't really know who I was at that point. I really wanted to act. I just wanted to act at that point, but I sang in. We had this thing called Battle of the Bands at school where you would
Oh,
compete with,
yeah.
and I was in one of the bands there, which I remember going to an audition for it and then being like, "Where have you been this whole time? You've been at this school for years and you've never signed up for this." So, well, I don't really know if I can sing or if this is my vibe. And then did that, and I loved that, and that was sort of where the rock and roll was born. And then I went to Lipper just to do acting. That was all I wanted to do. But there was a huge music scene
Mm.
in Liverpool. I mean, the Beatles, but also it's Paul McCartney's
Yeah.
school. So it was everywhere you looked, there was sheet music. So like, imagine the original sheet music is on the wall in a glass frame that he's put in there. There's so much Beatles memorabilia, and you would just see him sort of walking around the building every now and then. And these huge stars would come in, like Billy Ocean would come in, and these amazing acting ones too, like
Mm.
Dawn French or Alan Rickman, they came in and huge names. So I really had that love for music again and acting, but thought they had to be separate. I never really thought about musical theatre while I was training. It was more acting. It wasn't until Hannah
Mm.
Waddingham, who's now huge, but back then she was just a struggling actor. And she came in to teach us for 2 weeks. She taught us musical theatre workshop. Even though I was on a straight acting degree, you did these little modules where you would have to sort of dabble in musical theatre.
Mm.
And she came in and she was the first person that said to me, well, she had faith in that I could do it. And she said that she wouldn't have a clue who I was now, but she's huge now. But she just said, you could really work. You're the one I'm watching in this. And I only had a really tiny thing to do in it. But she said, you're ready to work now in musicals. And I thought, oh, wow. And then that was sort of where it was born from. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh, so cool. Like
Yeah,
it's
you just need
yeah,
one
such a
person
lot.
to have faith
Yeah.
in you. Yeah, totally.
Do you think you could have done something different besides being an actor?
I think that now, at the time, yeah, I mean, of course, there's a million paths you could go down and more sensible career choices. I think theatre I'd always come back to theatre. I always
Yeah.
think now I'm really passionate about other people's careers. I have so much interest in what they should be doing or what I see them doing. So I increasingly think I'd love to be an
Ooh.
agent at some point
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Because
I can
I
see
am
that.
really, yeah, I am passionate about other people's careers as well as my own. And I'll look at people and I'll be like, oh, your agent's not getting you in the doors you should be in and things like that. So I could see myself doing that now, but
Yeah,
at 18, you don't really know you don't really know what jobs theatre has to offer or, you know.
absolutely. And speaking of that, what did you want it to become when you were a child? What was your dream job as a child? It was just coming to my mind when you say what did you just got it when
Teacher.
you read it?
I
Teacher.
wanted to, well, all my family are in teaching, so it's sort of on my mum's side anyway, everyone was a teacher. So I just thought I wanted to,
Mm.
well, I remember being a really small child and saying when I grow up, I want to be Santa. I used to think, I, I used to always say, I'm going to replace Santa. I want to be Santa.
Oh.
Uh, and then, or I'd want to work on a checkout because I thought it was so fun how they just got to sit there and scan everything and talk to everyone. I had really small dreams. I remember wanting to be a window cleaner for a while. I
Oh,
thought,
wow,
wow, I can
okay.
clean people's windows and be out all day. And then, yeah, so hey, I could fall back on those maybe.
I love this. And then suddenly you became a rock theater musician.
Suddenly this niche was born.
Suddenly, yeah. I think the last years were full of rock and roll for you, like
Mm.
American Idiot, Bad Out of Hell, We Will Rock You. Would you say that rock and roll musicals are more your thing than classical ones?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
100%.
I feel like such a farce if I go into to do anything else. I think increasingly you learn who you are and who you are not. Who I am is the rock and roll musical theatre boy, and who I'm not is your stereotypical musical theatre leading man in these classical legit shows.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are moving differently. I know some shows are trying to put more rocky people into them, see how
Mm.
those voices fit. Some of the more operatic shows are doing that to update them. But yeah, I love those shows as well. I need like drums, I need bass.
You need
I
the heavy
love that
stuff.
sound that gets you energetic, and I don't want to just stand on stage and sing really.
Is there any musical you would really like to perform someday? Or
Oh,
I
there's
know that We Were
loads.
Rocky was one of your favorites. I read it somewhere.
Yeah, I
So
always wanted to. I
dream is
love Queen, so I always wanted to do that. Moulin Rouge is one that I would love, harping to.
yes, I love Moulin Rouge so much. I even got a Moulin Rouge tattoo here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's one that I've auditioned for quite a few times and it's just never sort of worked out in the end.
Oh,
I think they find me maybe a bit too rocky, but I want to do it.
yeah.
So we'll see. If you keep working for something, hopefully one day. Yeah, I love that. Hades Town, I love. There's loads of
Oh,
shows I
yeah.
love. I mean, there's loads of things I'd love to do. It's just whether they'd love for you to be in it.
Is there any role in Moulin Rouge you would see yourself in?
Oh, I want to be Christian, yeah.
Oh, I mean the hairstyle is perfect. So
Mm,
yeah, and
we'll see.
yeah, I think that Christian would suit you.
I'd like to do it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Otherwise, you have to learn German and come to the German Moulin Rouge production.
Yeah, well, they have sort of a party after and everything. I'd love to
Yeah.
see that one. Yeah, and I love Cologne. Did I say that
Oh,
right?
yeah, Cologne is nice. It's better than
Yeah,
Düsseldorf,
okay.
right?
That you said it, not me.
How was it for you being a lead in the West End? I think being the lead in Battle of Hell was your first time in a West End show. Am I right?
Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't really I think this thing about West End is like this huge didn't really feel any different to me to doing it in any other theatre. In fact, I always say to
Mm,
people, since doing that, since doing rock you in town over the summer. I actually really like touring. I've come to be like, oh, I love the idea of mixing it up every week, different theatre, different space, different feel. And there's something about, I live in London, there's something about the disconnect between your home life and your work life
Oh yeah.
feeling good, especially a role like Strat where you so physically demanding that your life belongs to that show, your voice belongs to that show. I would have to think about when I go to sleep, how much I talk in the morning,
Oh
things that
wow.
just don't really happen when you have to get on a tube afterwards and you have to get a tube into work and do all these things. I could live next door to the theatre on tour and
Mm.
also be like, my whole day was about that show. There wasn't
Yeah.
the demands of like, I need to clean my house. There wasn't anything like that. Whereas when the show was in London, you have to think about those things. I was living at home. So
Mm.
I love touring. I miss touring actually. At the moment,
Mm.
people go, you should try and stay in the West End now you've done it. And I go, no, absolutely not. The
You want to
idea,
go
there's
to?
no better feeling than doing a show in Edinburgh. Edinburgh
Yeah.
Playhouse,
Yeah.
Scottish audiences like that, sign me up
Yeah.
any day. Yeah.
Yeah.
London, the
Absolutely.
market's very different. London, the market is a lot of tourists that have come over to
Mm-hmm.
visit. When you're doing tours, you're going to people from those towns that love these
Yeah.
shows. It was amazing. I mean, it was amazing doing Bat in town, but it was amazing doing Bat in Sheffield or doing Bat in Dublin.
Did you have like more free time on tour? Would
Yeah,
you
yes
say?
and no. I mean, I probably had more free time in London, which I spent socializing with all the people I'd not seen while I was on tour, but then would be exhausted by the time I turn up to do a show. So it's
Mm.
finding the balance of those two things.
Yeah, I can imagine it's like really hard going on tour and then coming back to your home. How do you even do your real life time? I can't imagine like,
Yeah, but
yeah, you're on
you
tour, you have
really
this busy
live.
life and everything, and then
Yeah.
coming back, and then you just normal friends are there, your family's there, and you have to clean the house.
Yeah. But I love that because I find it's like when you're touring, you tend to get 2 days off. So you tend to get Sunday and Monday off. So you finish that show on a Saturday, you jump in your car, you come home, and then those 2 days are completely dedicated to your home life. So there
Mm,
feels like the two things come symbiotic rather than you try and juggle it all. So you really like live for those 2 days. I'd be like, we're doing this. I'm going here. I've missed this restaurant.
yeah.
I'm going da 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 da. You sort of live for those 2 days. You put more effort in than if you were waking up in your bed every day, just any other day.
Yeah, so let's see. Will it be tour or will it be the West End
Yeah, let's
again?
see. Let's
Let's
see.
see. Let's see another thing. I have a little game for you. It's
hmm
a storm of questions.
Ooh, does that mean I have
Yeah.
to be quick?
Yeah, quick in answering, but then we can like talk about it. It's 10
Right.
absolutely random questions, so the audience gets to know you better. And
hmm
just let us start. The first question is, what is the first thing that you're doing in the morning, and what is the last thing you're doing in the evening before going to bed?
First thing I do in the morning is play Radio 2. Before I've even opened my eyes, the first thing I say when my alarm goes off is, Alexa, I say it quietly because she'll turn on. Alexa, play Radio 2. Um, and she turns on, and then I gradually come round with whatever's playing. Can you hear her? She's playing it now. Alexa, off. Um,
Love that.
she's got a mind of her own at the minute, that speaker. And then the last thing I do at night is listen to music as well. I get into bed,
Ah.
I've brushed my teeth, and I usually play something more chill. Maybe there's a band called London Grammar. Don't know, but if you know them, they're one of my
Mm.
faves. They're really like chill. It's great music, so I always play them before bed, maybe, or
Okay, I
it
have
can
to
be
check them
anything
out
really.
later.
Yeah, they're real good, like chill music, so I always play them
Mm.
before bed. I often play them in the dressing room as well, especially if it's the opening night. I'll always be listening to them.
Ah, so you can like calm down and relax a bit more.
Yeah, there's just it's impossible to not feel like you're just sort of blowing in the wind while you're
Mm.
listening to them.
And in the morning, just because I'm curious, and I had three coffees in the morning.
Well, I don't have coffee in the morning. I have tea in the morning.
Oh, you have
I
tea in the
will,
morning. That's good.
yeah, I always have tea in the morning. I rarely will have it in the house, I tend to like go out and get my coffee in the morning, Americano with a bit of hot oat milk.
Mm.
I'm trying to cut down on the oat milk because people say that's as bad for you as dairy now. Um, and change it up for coconut, but I don't like it half as much.
Yeah,
But I normally like it quite sweet in the morning as well with the sweetener. Yeah, it's always sort of Americanos, but I will drink a lot of coffee a day. Because if I had a coffee machine at home, I would use it all the time. I'll drink coffee before I go to sleep. Doesn't seem to impact me that way.
that's crazy.
So it tends to be if I go for a drink after the show or something, I'll be like, oh, I'll have a latte. That'll send me to sleep because it's
Oh
milky
my
with the coffee.
gosh.
And though interestingly, I have heard, and not that I think I have or I've self-diagnosed, but I know that they tell you to give children with the ADHD, they tell you to give
Yeah,
them a coffee before
true.
bed because it works the opposite way. It sends them to
True.
sleep. So I do
Yeah.
think maybe I do have quite an active brain, so maybe it works like that for
Yeah.
me and chills me
I have ADHD, so it's it's not working for me to calm me down.
out. It's ramping you up.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Would you rather play Britney or Galileo in We Will Rock You?
Oh, Galileo and a Day, yeah. All the best
Mm,
songs of Galileo's. 100%,
yeah,
yeah.
true.
That was Galileo is and was a dream role for me. I love the music. Brit is like it's the antithesis of me, really. I know I covered it in the summer, but it's just so I always felt like such a charlatan.
Did you ever got to play Galileo actually?
No, only in the cover runs, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I just saw the Instagram reels you put out with the cover run.
yeah, me and
Oh,
Bekowitz.
sadly.
Yeah, we were
So,
added to that show really late. I should have still been doing that way into the end of June. So
mm,
yeah, I went into that show really late and just yeah, but it was once in a lifetime opportunity to do it in London over the summer,
yeah,
you
of
know.
course. I would have loved to seen like everyone in different roles. I saw the show, I think, 4 times in London and
Mm,
sometimes here in Germany. And every time it was like, oh, please, please cover, do some covers. I want to see different people in different roles because I love it just to see
yeah,
how
it was
this
such a
show
short
changes.
run, really.
Mm,
So and in the summer, people are usually generally quite well. So
yeah, true. Next question is, how does your daily routine go?
my daily routine, it depends on the day. Always
Yeah.
starts the same with the radio. Always make my bed. It tends to be that I will do that. My day, people always say my day focuses on what exercise I'm doing that day, which it sort of does. I'll have planned that before I've planned anything else. So I get really stressed if I don't know when I'm doing some exercise that day. If I've allocated it as a day where I'm not doing anything, then that's fine. It tends to be, I mean, at the moment I'm not working, so I tend to get up at the same time every day, 8:30. I always try and wake up at the same time. I'm training for the marathon, so a lot of running or other working out in the morning. And then I tend to try and dedicate some time to working on my craft, singing, or hopefully there's an audition I'm working on.
Mm,
And then I'm spending a lot of time at the moment socializing. I'm trying to catch up with everyone I've not really seen for the past 3 years. So I feel like I'm back to back at the minute with, okay, I've got you this time, you that point. But once I feel like I've
yeah.
got through all my friends, they're then like, right, there's the first week is starting to book again. I'm like sat there doing admin, yeah, and just hustling for work at the minute. So it can really
Mm.
vary.
Do you feel more like yourself right now, when you have more time to
Mm.
do normal stuff?
Yeah, it's really hard that because you spend so long when you're in a job waiting for the time when you're not. Especially like last year was crazy. It was like 5 jobs that all bled into each other, and I felt so like, oh, I've not seen anyone, I've not seen my family, I barely replied to anyone.
Mm,
And then that all ends, and you've got this free time, and it's like staring down the barrel of a gun, and you're like, oh my God, I need the next thing. And so you find it really hard to enjoy the
yeah.
time off that you've craved so much because you need an endpoint to it. So it's a double-edged sword. Monday we had glorious weather here on Monday, and I thought, oh, I'm so fortunate to be off at the minute, like having this like mini retirement and be able to be running around all these offices in London while everyone's in there working, and I'm just like,
Oh, that
living
felt
my
good.
life. It felt really good. But then by Tuesday, I'm like, but what next? What's next for my career?
Mm,
You know?
Is it hard for you to calm down and don't think about the future and what's coming next?
Yeah, I mean, it is because it's hard because it's not just trying to find a job, it's also trying to find the right job and to know what to do career-wise. And you have a lot of outside opinions, people telling you what you should do. And then on the other side, I've got like parents that worry, that go, that just have a work
Yeah.
ethic. They don't have, their jobs aren't so precarious. So it doesn't matter how many jobs you've done. They're like, what's next? What's next? You need something now. And I'm like, actually, I'm okay. I'm having some time off. And they don't necessarily always understand that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely feel that. When's the next book coming out? When's the next book coming out?
yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, let me just have some time.
Yeah.
Um, they're so supportive, but they just want to know that I can pay the rent. But I'm like, I'm fine. If I come to you and ask for money, then you can have the opinion. But
Okay.
that's not, that's not happening right now. So you.
Perfect. The next one is, what is your favorite musical or theater show?
Oh, interesting. That would probably that. I mean, that changes. Standing at the Sky's Edge, I loved when I saw that. I'd never seen anything quite like it. I felt really moved by it. I loved the music. I loved the script. I thought it was perfect. I'm going this week to see the new version they've just transferred, which will be slightly different. So I'll be interested to see different cast and things like that.
Have fun.
I said to you at Christmas that you had to go and watch the old Vic's
Yeah.
version of Christmas Carol, which they're bringing back this Christmas, so you have no excuse.
Oh
That to
yeah.
me is, I rarely return to shows, and I've been maybe 4 times, not in the same Christmas period, but I've gone four
Mm.
times to watch it, and I think it's pure magic. I mean, I took my mum and she cried, just not because it
Oh.
was sad, but she thought it was so beautiful, and it's done so well. It's that to me is near perfect, and actually. I just went and saw the Band-Aid musical and it blew my
Mm.
mind. I thought it was
Yeah, is
incredible.
it good?
The reviews are very lukewarm, so I feel like maybe I just love that type of music and love that type of
Mm.
show. But for me, it's a perfect musical, yeah. But I welcome everyone has different opinions, and there are shows that I
Of
love
course.
that they might hate.
Now I got some recommendations. Thanks.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff here at the minute. There's a lot opening. There's some really good plays here as well. There's a
Oh
play,
yeah.
Hills of California, which just
Mm.
opened. I'm desperate to go to, but I really want to take. I'm only going to watch that with my family because they're all from the area. It's about Blackpool in
Ah.
1976, and that's where I was born, but where my mum and her sister and my uncles all grew up, and it's basically a story they would know. So I really want to go with
Oh.
them. But apparently that's phenomenal as well. So we'll see.
You're a family person, right?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
Yeah,
I
because all the time we see each other. You're talking about your mom, and this is so cute.
yeah, my mum is like my best mate. She's such a dream.
Mm.
She's so fun. My mum is really fun. But I always say to her, you're not like a mum, you're like a friend.
Okay, and the next one is which costume would you pick for Halloween? I know this is super random, but I was just searching for funny questions to get the
Well,
audience
do you want to know
familiar.
something about me, Leah? I hate fancy dress. I hate
But
the
you're an
effort.
actor! You have to dress up like
Yeah,
every
costume
time.
fine. I always think it's such a waste of resources. You're going to buy this outfit that's then going to be binned, and that's so bad for the planet. And I am so lazy when it comes to like getting ready for things. The idea of putting on anything other than a pair of jeans and a top, when I have to wear a suit for something, ugh. So fancy dress to me is the
Yeah.
same effort. When someone says I'm having a fancy dress party, I think you're so selfish because now I have to put my time and energy
Yeah.
into competing with everyone else. So my perfect fancy dress, one that I go to a lot, is like a dead lifeguard because it's so easy. It's
Mm.
like flip flops, swim shorts, a yellow t-shirt, blood, Bob's your uncle, fine. People that go to all this trouble of wearing those contact lenses that's so uncomfortable and things like that, nah,
Uh,
not for me. I'm a bit of a Scrooge when it comes to. I love Halloween. I love the movies, but I don't like to
yeah.
dress up.
Oh, I love dressing up.
I was even like that as a kid. I don't remember being like, I want to go as this, I want to go as that. It was always,
Yeah,
what's the simplest thing that I can just
the
shove
simplest
on?
thing.
Mm.
Yeah, I was talking with Danny Whelan some weeks ago, who was also in Bat Out of Hell. And we talked about the Bat Out of Hell costume party.
Glasgow.
You had like two costume parties, and yeah, I was just I don't even have a word for this, because I was like, this is so cool. People who dress up for the job come together in a party and they dress up for something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's just
I
cool
was
and
lazy for
lovely.
that one as well. I was lazy for that. Mother was Cruella and I was a Dalmatian. And all I did was put a tail on and some ears and just wear my clothes.
But that's not really lazy at all. That's a lot of effort.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did
Yep.
get down on all fours and bark. I did.
Amazing job.
I said to Martha, "You're loving this. You've waited all this time
Yeah.
to make
You
me
just
your
did it for
little
Martha.
bitch."
Yeah. Okay, let's continue with not costumes, but with food. What kind of food do you absolutely dislike?
I'm not very fussy with food. I like a lot of food, but there is one food I cannot stand, and it is bacon. I
Mm,
hate bacon. I hate the smell because there's so many things now they try and make taste like bacon.
true.
Because people love it, especially here. It's such like everyone loves a fry up, and I can't have it cooked in the house. It drives me insane. And if I go to a cafe and I can smell it being cooked, I'll leave. I feel like it's on your clothes all the time. I
Oh
hate
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
And
And do
people
you have
always
a
think that's wild that I don't like it, but I don't.
no, I think that's just like, yeah, people don't. I know people who don't like chocolate. This is weirder to me than not liking bacon.
Oh yeah, chocolate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Your favorite food? Oh, why you're
Oh my,
smiling this hard?
oh, that is so hard. My favorite food. Oh, dessert really. Oh,
Mm,
it's really hard. I love porridge.
porridge.
I love a
That's
bowl of
weird.
porridge. Is it? People think that that'd be one of my death row meals, but
Yeah.
I can't have porridge. Is thing you can't have in the house. Can't have oats in the house because I will
Mm,
eat them until I'm poorly.
I mean,
But
at least
also
healthy.
any dessert, cheesecake, chocolate, tiramisu. I love tiramisu.
Oh yeah, me
Because
too.
coffee, coffee, coffee.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of foods that's sort of my favorite.
Are you like interested in cooking, and or are you more like
I'm
going
more
to the
interested.
restaurant and eating?
Yeah, yeah. I love
More
eating
a eater than a
people's
cooker?
cooking.
Yeah.
But I'm. It's not that I'm a bad cook. I'm a lazy cook. My stuff doesn't taste as good because I would get stressed about putting anything in it bad for me. So I tend to be like no oil, no salt,
Oh,
no. So there's it's quite basic when I cook.
yeah. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Can you describe yourself in three songs?
Oh wow, three songs. Oh, there's a Celine Dion song that I always think reminds me of my upbringing, which is Because You Loved Me. Because
Aww.
you love me, that one. I think of that about sort of the sacrifices my mum made for me and my brother when we were growing up. So I always think of that as our song. Other songs that sort of I would say describe me or at least influenced me would be Always by Bon Jovi. That was
Mm.
because that made me discover this rock and roll thing that I had.
I love
Um,
this that you're saying this, because this is one of the songs that's in my new novel. The song is like in a very emotional scene. My protagonist is like thinking about family and how everything could be perfect now, and
mm,
everything changes in that moment, and it's like always playing in the background from Bon Jovi. So
mhm.
funny thing.
And there's a song by an artist called Gabrielle here called Out of Reach. And I always think I play that song a lot when I am feeling like either if I feel like things are going really well or really bad or it's the soundtrack to my life that I'll put it on and I'll just walk around for a bit and I just sort of feel it clears my head. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but I would use that as one of mine as well.
Yeah. So when there's like one day a Glenn Adamson biopic, we hear those songs.
Yeah, you would see me sort of walking through London to Out of Reach with Bridget
Aw,
Jones.
so cute. Let's get back into acting. Is there anything you absolutely hate about being an actor?
Probably the treatment. You're sort of the most powerless of all the people in the industry, which I think when you see a show, you're like, well, it couldn't happen without those actors. But there's so many people wanting to do it, and it's sort of so many people's dreams that it's easy for us to be forgotten about, bottom of the pile, sort of. Not not so much when I'm in a job. I've never felt that when I'm in a job. I've actually worked for some really ace people, but certainly when you're auditioning, increasingly as I get older and I know more, I sort of just want to put a finger up, my middle finger up for
Mm,
people listening. She can't see me. My middle finger is firmly up, and some of those people that you audition for that treat you like absolute shite. They're the things that I find frustrating because I want to shake them and go, people are bearing their soul. It's so
yeah.
vulnerable for someone to stand in front of 12 people behind a table and sing a song at them and bear their talent, and for you to just respond with, okay, that's all we need, thanks. Like, I just think it's so cold.
Mm,
And I never used to feel it as much as I feel now because I think I was so young and naive and just was like, oh, love me, that I gave them all that power. Whereas now I just think
mm,
it's sort of cruel.
yeah.
Um, and when we first came out of the pandemic, I felt a real shift. People really shifted to be like, well, we're all in this together and we can all lose our jobs. No one's more important than anyone else. But I do feel like this year we've forgotten about it. We've forgotten
Mm.
how that felt.
I'm sorry that this has happened to you.
No, this is just, I think it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
It's a universal feeling between all actors and probably everyone that has job interviews. It's just we have like 3 job interviews a week sometimes, and yeah,
That's a
it can
lot.
begin to grind you down. I tell you that.
And you have to do it again and again and again.
Yeah, there's never like, yeah, it's never just once for them. It's sort of the best you can expect is please come back and next week and please come back
Mm,
the week after. And some of these shows, I mean, yeah, I could go off on a tangent about this, but some of the treatment, like I've had shows where I've been in for 4 months. I've learned 8 songs. I can think of one right now where I've learned 8 songs, 8 scenes. I've gone in and done it countless times. I've left and been like, wow. And I have waited 12 weeks for an answer from a job before to then just get, sorry, we went with someone else. After for 12 weeks they've dangled this might change your life, and
mm,
then you're like, okay, cool. You rarely get like a why. You rarely get a you should change this about yourself, and you'd have got it. Not, I don't
yeah.
know how helpful it'd be, but
Yeah, I absolutely feel it because I think there are a lot of things that are not so different when being an actor and being an author because the same
yeah, I can
things
imagine.
happen to me. I'm writing a book like months and months and months, sending it out to my agent, and then she's like, "Okay, we have to redo this
Hmm.
and then write an expose or something shorter for the publishers, and then it's out with the publishers, and yeah, you barely get a response. Maybe just
Yeah, and you're just
thanks, but
hoping
no.
someone buys it. Yeah, someone
Mm,
buy it. Yeah, I've got friends that do that as well, that are novelists with literary agents, and they it gets picked up in this territory and not this one, and then yeah.
this is why I'm doing content creation besides this.
Mm. Many strings to the bow. That's what you need.
Absolutely. Okay, 2 questions left in the summer questions. Would you rather participate on reality TV or only perform in one show for the rest of your life?
Oh, one show for the rest of my life.
I can't see you in reality TV.
No, especially in the world of like Twitter or whatever it's called now, X.
Yeah.
Everyone writing horrible things about you. I pretty much ruined my reputation straight away because I wouldn't be able to hold my tongue. I'd have to reply to people
Yeah.
and tell them what I thought of them. The cruelness.
I mean, social media is hard enough. I can't imagine being on reality TV.
Oh my God, I had a woman once, really early in my career, at this show. All the feedback was great, but there was a woman that wrote on TripAdvisor of all places, like reviewing a restaurant, saying it was really horrible about me, saying that her and her family had to leave at the interval because my voice was so bad. And that really, like, of all the nice things, that stuck with me for so long. I
This
still bring
this
her
is
up
the
now. It's something
yeah,
that my family and friends will say to me, "Oh, you're thinking about
that review,
yeah, I
yeah.
couldn't think of her name. Yeah, and people will quote her name back to me, and I'll go, "Oh yeah, fair enough." You know, I wasn't for her, but just taking the time to write that on social media, knowing that I would probably see it. Yeah, I for a long time, like, my demon was that comment.
Mm,
So no, I don't want to be on the telly.
yeah. Don't ever read reviews for your shows,
No.
for your books. Don't do it. It will ruin
And
everything
don't,
for
if
you.
you're listening, don't write one. If it's mean,
Yeah,
only write good.
yeah.
If you've got
Only write
nothing
good
nice to
things.
say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or at least be better with your wording and don't be mean.
Yeah, be constructive. Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
be mean about someone ever.
And the last one, what book are you currently reading? My voice today is like
Oh,
still shitty.
I'm more of a podcast listener than a reader, but I am reading a book. It's called Ultra Processed People,
Mm,
and it's about ultra processed food and why we're addicted to it. I actually love reading about food and well, more health of food. I'm always looking for, like, how to be better, those sort
oh, you're just the sweetest potato.
of things. Sweet potato, better for you than a normal one.
Yeah. Let's talk about things that are currently in the future for you, upcoming, which is the West End musical Love Songs concert.
That is it's working with the same team that worked on Bat Boy, and
Ah,
I had such a lovely time working with them then. That I jumped at the chance of doing this. I mean, it's an amazing cast. I didn't know who else was doing it until it was announced. None of us knew who else was in it. Like, people that I can't wait to meet myself. You know, you've got Cassidy Jansen, you've got Grace Moat,
mm,
Georgina, who I think is amazing as well. So, I mean, they're all amazing. I'm looking at them
yeah.
all going, wow. I remember seeing Michael Xavier when I was, you know, a teenage boy and being like, he's amazing. So,
What is it like when you are getting booked for a concert? Is there a set list prepared, or do you have any influence in the creative process of deciding which songs you want to sing?
well, with this, yeah, we sort of have, there is content already there. It's a model that they've used before. They do Christmas one and, like, a Valentine's one sort of vibe, in a different Western theatre every time. But we have sort of pitched what we would like. With this one, we have put in choices that we think are appropriate, that we would like to sing.
Mm.
But we're still waiting to find out from the musical supervisor which, if any of our stuff gets used, really.
Are you allowed to tell us which songs you've picked for
I don't
yourself?
know yet the final ones, so I'd tell you and then it wouldn't be there, so I can't. I can't. But
So we have to
good
wait.
ones. Good ones. I've picked good ones.
Maybe I would do anything for love.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
I don't, I don't know if there's the demand for it. Then hopefully,
What is it like being in a concert show and being in a full theater show? I mean, of course, the concerts are only once sometimes
yeah.
or a weekend,
This one,
and if
this one's
show's
twice. Yeah.
longer. Yeah, so
Yeah. It
how do you
depends really
prepare
with
for
anything.
that?
Like, Bat Boy, when we did Bat Boy in concert, it was one
Mm,
night, but we rehearsed that like a show. This will be a lot less. It's only a few days beforehand what we'll be doing,
mm,
but really varies on everything. But shows vary too. You can do a show that has 6 weeks rehearsals, and you can do a show where you go in and you've got 2 weeks. You know, when we rehearsed We Will Rock You, we had a 6 week rehearsal period. When we did Bat, we had a 2 week rehearsal period. So yeah, there's a huge difference
wild.
there. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you're so stressed, and sometimes you're. To be fair, I never think it makes any difference, because if you have 6 weeks, you sit there the whole time going, "Well, we'll deal with that nearer to the time.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that nearer to the time." Whereas 2 weeks, then everyone's just running around like headless chickens, like, "Oh my God, get this done. We have to do this." It's sort of, but it still ends the same way because after the 6 weeks, that last week, everyone's going, we've not done anything for 6 weeks.
What is your like preparation for concerts versus a full show? Do you do anything like more sporty stuff and getting muscles for a show or something for the
Mm.
stamina, or is it yeah, is there any difference? I don't know.
But again, that sort of depends on the show and how physically demanding it's going to be. I mean, something like that, I had to do a lot because it was like, otherwise I would die. I couldn't stand there being, wouldn't have been very fun for everyone if halfway through Bat Out of Hell I stopped
No, it wouldn't be
for a
fun.
yeah, for some water. But I don't think, I mean, maybe people do realize how exhausting it is, but that number where you'd be jumping off rocks, jumping off a bike, trying to sing like top C's, but also throwing yourself on the floor, do a press up here, hang upside down over there. You had to really build yourself like an athlete. And vocally as well, look after yourself that way. So it really depends. Like something like when I was doing Panto, that is 12 shows a week, so it's so that's such, you're tired all the time, and you have to
Mm.
really pace yourself on something like that. The joy of a concert show is that you're doing it once, you can sort of give it everything, and you don't have to worry. I mean, Love Songs is 2 nights, but you don't have to necessarily worry that your voice will be there the next day as much as you do in some other things where you've got 8 a week, you pace yourself.
Taking Panto in, you said you had like sometimes 3 shows a day, right?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
How do you do this?
I know. I mean, I feel for it's a real double-edged sword, that one, because there's such a demand for it, such a market for it here, that and
Yeah.
it only exists for a limited time. Like it has to be around that festive period because that's when it falls. If you're going to put it on for 2 months, you need as many shows as possible.
Mm,
And the rules here allow for 3 a day when it's a show like that. So it's exhausting, but you understand the need for it. For casts, I know a lot of people that are like, I could not do 3 a day. And especially
that's
the one
pretty
we
tough.
did was really physical.
Oh
It
yeah,
was,
yeah. With the bouncing.
yeah, bouncy castles. And oh my goodness, it was a lot. Yeah, sometimes 3 a day. And so effectively you start your first show, say maybe 11 o'clock, and then you're finishing your last show at 11 o'clock, and you're like, wow, it's full on. But I
Yeah.
understand it's only a really small window they've got to put these shows on, and the audience is there buying the tickets.
Yeah, you
So
bite your tongue and push through,
yeah,
kind
you
of.
push through and you think, I'll rest in February. But then February comes and you're like, where's my next job?
Yeah. What do the next thing? And I mean, for me, seeing Panther for the first time, I was really laughing hard the whole time because it was so weird. And it was so cute because I saw the first show, and then the one in the evening, and you could see the differences in the audience, um,
Hmm.
because the children got bigger, the
Yeah,
beers got fuller.
yeah. That's
So
the thing
yeah,
with Panto is for a lot of people it's the only show they'll see every year. Theatres survive on them here, and they're such an institution. I mean, they're what I grew up watching. I sort of take my brother, and my brother does not go to theatre, isn't really that interested in coming to see me in a show. But every year he's like, "What are you doing, Panto? Where's Panto? Is it close to home? Can we get there?" He wouldn't miss a Panto for the world, and he always goes to see the local Panto there because we grew up with that, but everyone here has grown up with that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and since you're at the moment, you say that you're not working, but I mean there's a concert in March that you're a part of.
yeah, there's
Um,
lots of concerts brewing. There's lots of that brewing,
yeah?
but I mean, show, I want a show.
Oh. Do you know when you can tell us more about what's coming for you?
I'll tell you more when I know more. Yeah, as soon as someone
Yeah.
gives me the thumbs up, and then you're never allowed to say anything on these things until everything always changes. So
Next similarities to being an author.
yeah, so many.
So at the moment, it's all about the marathon for you, right?
Yeah, which I've dragged my friend Becca Wicks is running it too, who I did Rocky with.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw that Becca's also running. I was like, ah, that's so
she's
cute.
running. Well, when I ran the last marathon and finished it the day before we started real Rocky rehearsals. We started the rehearsals and we were doing them, and I sort of didn't really tell anyone. And then gradually people start adding each other on Instagram. And then people were like, hang on, did you run the marathon yesterday? And I was like, yeah. And people were like, how are you here? I'm fine. And so Becca that day was like, I want to run it next year. And she signed up as you do. And you either get picked or you don't. She didn't get a place. So then
Mm.
I messaged her saying, oh, do you want to put your money where your mouth is? Do you still want to do it? And she said, well, I can't. I've not been picked. I said, I can get you, like, I'll get you a place. If you'll run it for the same charity I'm running it for, I can get you a
Aww,
place. And so now she's
it's
doing it,
getting
but
cuter.
I know, yeah, I know, but I'm so looking. I think sometimes she's like, oh my goodness, she's doing amazing. She's training all the time, but
Yeah.
she's done more than me because I'm not a very good runner in the cold. I
Oh,
hate
yeah.
the cold.
Oh, me
So,
too. My
but she's
hands are
been
like
out all,
absolutely wrecked in
yeah,
the cold.
I hate it. Yeah, so she's doing it. So we'll see how she fares.
Are you training together sometimes, or how's your
No,
daily
we
workout
haven't
routine?
done any. We haven't done any of that really. Last year I was supposed to run the marathon with two of my friends. One of my really good friends, Tom. We were running it together, and we started, and I said, "I'll run the first 10K with you, or the first 10
Mm.
miles. We'll decide." And then within 10 seconds, I was like, "No, bye." I How so rude is that? I didn't actually say bye. I just started running at the pace I wanted to go at,
Mm.
realized he wasn't coming, and just left. He rang me in my headphones at one point on the run and said, have you gone? Have you just left me? How far
Bye
ahead are you? Come
bye.
back. And I said, yeah, I'm really a lot further ahead. So no, I don't really train with anyone. I tend to just run on my own.
Mm.
But we'll see how I fare. I don't know that I'll be as fast this year because the novelty of it last year kept me fast. I didn't really know how fast I was going, and I was just trying to get through the crowds. So many people that actually that's what chopped off the time. So I kept being like, oh, I've got to overtake that person because they're in the way, and then
Yeah.
gradually you're like, oh wow, it's gone really quick.
Oh, you're such a beast. I would die just in the first 10 minutes. I couldn't do this. I absolutely couldn't do this, but I'm not an athlete.
We all have our different exercise though. I go to someone put me in a spin class and then I'm really awful. I can't cycle. It's like you just have your thing, don't you?
And how do you prepare for the marathon? Are you running all day at the moment, or how's it
No, but
going?
we had this thing last week called we call it Fool's Spring here. Like it feels like spring and then suddenly it's not. Like this week's freezing, but
Yeah.
last week was glorious. That was full spring. So I really got out and I put some real good time on the runs because it was sunny and sort of a lot warmer. I know you have this in Germany actually. Barry's Boot Camp. Do you have that? I've done a lot of that recently. I love it. I'm so passionate about doing Paris. It's where all my money goes. So I I just did Hell Week there, which is they call it Hell Week because you have to do a class every day for 7 days. So I put my body through that. So I think that's helping
Wow.
gradually. I think that's like giving me a stamina, but the long distance running I've not done as much. But mind you, last week I did on the Monday I did 30K, which is only
Mm,
like 12K off the marathon, so fine. I'll be fine.
yeah,
Depends on the weather on the day. I hope it's warmer than last time. It was so cold last time. Hated it.
here too, but it gets better every day now, so fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
let's see. This year I'm not putting last year I put my name on the vest. It said Glenn printed on it. This year
Mm.
I'm not doing that because so many people everyone just shouts the names that they read. But I
Oh
was
yeah.
convinced I thought it was someone that I knew all the time, so that really held me up. I kept being like, "Oh, someone I know is here." And it was obviously just a randomer.
Oh,
So
oh,
this
that's
year
cute.
you can only shout my name if you know me though.
Yeah,
Slowing, not cute. You're slowing me down.
yeah. But I think that's pretty
That's part of the vibe.
sweet. No, I think
Everyone
it's
said to me,
sweet.
everyone said, don't listen to music. You need to listen to the vibe and the energy.
Oh,
And
So you're
I
not
was like,
listening to
no.
music while you're running.
No, last time I just kept them to keep. I was trying to listen to music, but everyone was too loud, screaming their names.
Mm.
So this time I would just take it in. But I used the earphones last time for phone calls if people rang me while I was going.
You're kidding me. You're not doing like phone calls on the marathon.
Well, people were
Glenn,
ringing me and saying, "Oh, hang on, you told me to meet you at this time, at this mile, and you've passed it." And I'd go, "Oh yeah, am I running quicker than I thought it would be? I'm not joking." And they'd go, "Yeah, you are. You're about half an hour quicker than you said." And I said, "Oh, okay, we'll get to mile 18." And then they'd be like, "Okay." And I get to mile 18, they go, "We've missed you again. You've already gone past that." I'd say, "Just go to the end." I kept ringing people like, how's your marathon going? And they'd be like,
this man is a beast.
I
How do
did. I
you
kept
do
ringing
this,
people.
Glenn? Really?
It was just my sport. I mean, maybe I won't be able
Yeah.
to this year, but last year I was sort of able to ring people in my ears and be like, "Yeah, I'm
Mm.
fine. How are you? What's for dinner? What are you ordering?" I'm just
Um,
running the marathon.
just casually. What should I do? Like on this nice day, besides running a marathon? Can you tell us a bit more about Make-A-Wish?
They're an incredible, incredible charity that do amazing things for children that a lot of them are on end of life care or at least are living with real severe illnesses. And my first experience with them as charity is seeing the kids that they bring to shows. These children will have a wish that they want to see granted before they sadly pass. And a lot of times it's to see a dream show or to meet someone from a show, and they'll make that wish come true. And they come and they have the most amazing day, and it's not sad, it's beautiful. They have such joy there. And I meet people constantly as well that I don't even know have been impacted from this, from their life, that will
Mm,
say to me, "Oh, I met a friend the other week who worked on that. Who said to me, I don't know if you know this, but I lost my brother, and his wish was granted when he was small." And it's just amazing. And the smallest amount of money can help, put
yeah.
money towards. Some children just want a big party. And it can pay for cakes for the party or hats. So any donation
Mm,
can do that. £100 will pay for a family to go to theatre, pay for those tickets to get them to
yeah.
see musicals. And when you think of the amount of little girls that pick Frozen, that just want a ticket to go and watch Frozen, and the charity in making that happen, because theatre, as beautiful as it is quite unaffordable to a lot of families. So for me, when it came to sort of running last year, I really wanted to do it for them. And I had friends that have lost parents and things that I wanted to run it for as well. And you can't do everyone, but I just sort of thought, well, my platform is theatre, and so we should support, those that need to see it, and they really do need to see it. We think of it as we like going to the theatre, but for some people
Mm,
it's the impossible thing to do,
yeah.
and then it's like time is of the essence for them to go and see it. So let's
Beautiful
let's
words.
make those wishes come true. Make those wishes come
Please,
true.
yeah,
So,
please guys donate. I will put your donation links everywhere so
oh,
people
thank
can
you.
put some money over there because it's
Thank
so
you very
important.
much.
Please, please, please
I,
support
I know
Glenn and
times
Make-A-Wish.
times are hard for everyone, but even a pound
Yeah,
helps.
even the smallest,
Mm.
as you know. So thank you so much that you're doing this because I think it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Glenn, we have a last game to do. Are you ready?
Ready and raring.
Of course, you have to. It's the weird facts. These are five not so really weird facts about you that I found out online doing my research for this podcast. And you can tell me if those things that I could find online about you are true
Is this going to
or
be the
not.
one about me being 51? So many people send me that. It says something like
51?
people put in my age, and it says that I'm 51, but it's because there's a very famous artist in
Oh,
Canada called Glenn Adamson.
yeah!
So he gets tweets about me all the time, or Instagram posts. I get posts about his art all the time. And when I was doing a job, well, it's Christmas, I was doing the panto, and one of the backstage staff, she told people, she said, he looks so good for his age. He's 51. And people were like, that. I don't think he is. And she was like, honestly, trust me, he's 51.
You're not.
And people, I said, oh my God, I'm so offended that you thought I was.
You're 32, am I
No, not
right? 31?
32. No,
30, 32?
30, 30,
Yeah,
30.
30, 30, 35, 4. Wow. I'm so bad at math. I tend to forget how old I am, and I'm like, I'm 33. Oh no, I turned 34 in January.
Oh no, 30, yeah.
Okay, let's start now with the real weird facts. The first one is you had your chest waxed during departure launch, 2012 on a street.
Oh my
I
God,
did a
so
deep dive for this.
that is a real deep dive.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been to the Edinburgh Fringe?
Nope.
Oh wow, you'd love it. You should go. It's such a buzz. So basically we have this thing called the Edinburgh Fringe and loads of shows. You could literally see
Hmm.
a show 15 minutes and about 10 a.m. until 4 a.m.
Oh, cool.
And people take their shows up there, and some are, I mean, like Miriam Margolyes just announced today, she's taking her show up there. So you see huge comedians, huge theatre shows, but also really small, minute things. And it was my first job, actually. It's my first paid acting job. Yeah, it was this musical called Departure Lounge. It's about four boys going on holiday to Magaluf, and then there's one girl in there that they all sort of have an altercation with. And you turn up and you're supposed to advertise your show when you're not in it
Yeah.
on the mile. It's this huge mile of road that's just full of people trying to get you to come and see the show. And we thought, how are we going to get attention? What will we do to
We
get
should
attention?
wax Glenn's
Well, we
chest.
were
Yeah.
like, let's not be beggy. Let's lay down on the street and then people will come to us. Let's sunbathe. It's really sunny that year, which is not always in
Amazing.
Edinburgh. So we laid down on the street and we were all sort of topless and we were sunbathing and I looked around at all the other boys and they were completely hair free and I was the youngest by far and I had full sort of chest hair and I said, oh wow, do you all like wax your chest or something? And they were like, no, but you're supposed to be playing a like 19-year-old and you're so hairy. I said, well I'm 20 at this point. I'm 20. And then I said, but this
Was
is
it a
how
compliment at that moment? Or...
this is how we get people to come to the show, or at least to stop and
Yeah.
take a flyer. Go and get a load of wax strips, and we'll let everyone that buys a ticket pull a strip off this wax. So
Oh my gosh.
that's what we did, and then we were actually a sellout. We won all these awards. It was great. So we didn't really need to go to those lengths. We actually, by the end, we didn't need to advertise. The show was huge.
Everyone
But
wanted to hurt you. Yeah, okay. I get it.
but that day I was bleeding because also I knew nothing about waxing, so we were just sticking them
Yeah.
anywhere, any which way around, leaving them for like hours, some of them, and then just being like, oh yeah, that's been on nearly all day. Now it's your turn to rip that one off. So painful.
Please never do this again.
I also at one point had the great idea of letting someone epilate my chest. Do you know
Yeah.
what epilation?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is worse. I was streaming with blood. That's awful.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why people would ever use those on their legs. Horrible thing.
Okay, this was really a weird fact. I love this. Good story, Glenn. Good story. The next one, I was really curious about that because I have seen this TV show hundreds of times. You've been in the TV show Skins.
Yeah, I was a very small boy then. Sort of when would that have been? I was only
It
a
was ages
child
ago,
really at
yeah.
that point. Yeah, and it was nothing major. I still don't know how people sort of know that about myself.
Because it's
I
online, you can
also
find it like TV
right,
productions, and then
right.
there was Skins. I was like, Glenn was in Skins? I know this show. He wasn't.
Blink, yeah, blink and you'd miss me in the background, I have
Yeah.
to say. But yeah, I was only small wee little boy, but yeah, it was cool nonetheless. Quite a few sort of there's an actor in it from my hometown who played the lead at one point, so a lot of it was
Mm,
sort of done around there.
yeah. Do you still remember which episodes or which season, or
To be honest, I was
do you
so
have any
young
idea?
not to watch it, but then some people rewatch it now, so it must be streaming. I'd have to sort
Yeah.
of look. I don't
Yeah,
even know.
I
It's not
need
even
to
on
I
my.
need to like look at this show
It's not.
again to see you?
It's
Because
not.
I'm so
It's not
curious, yeah?
even. Yeah, I don't even know if I feature it. It's not on my CV.
Yeah. But do you have like any memory of it, what the episode was like, or can you give us any clue?
No, it's basically just a party scene, and I'm somewhere in the background. I don't even speak. I'm just
Aw.
sort of around the background, and everyone's off their face, and it's just teenagers, and you've sort of got. Was her name Effie? Is she called
Yeah.
Effie?
Hmm.
Yeah, she's. I just remember she's sort of drunk, and she's coming through the
Ah,
halls,
yeah,
and
that one.
yeah,
I still remember.
something along the lines. I mean, if you see me, then let me know, but probably not.
Of course, of
I
course.
have no idea how those things get out there.
I will check this out because I'm so curious. Yeah.
I think when I first graduated, it was something I would have said. I'd been like, yeah, I'm a part, but wasn't.
Yeah.
Anything to get you an audition at the time.
Yeah, I feel that. But was it like your first TV thing to do?
Yeah, I did a few little things when I was around sort of that age, short films and things like that, which probably were before that. I don't think they've seen the light of day. I did a
Mm.
small German thing actually called Orna, it was called. And I
Oh,
played young. There's a guy in it called Clive, and I played the young version of him. But again, it was like really minimal. In fact, I did way more in that than I did in the
I need
background
to
of that
check that
episode.
out
But a
too.
lot, a lot of sort of that sort of stuff. Yeah, small little things.
Cool. And so the next weird fact is, for me, it's not weird, but since I collect crystals and I know that you collect crystals, people told me that it's a weird thing to collect crystals.
Who are these people? Stop talking to me.
Yeah. So
People
you
always
collect
start
crystals,
thinking
right?
it's weird, and then suddenly they're collecting them. Then suddenly, once you say to someone, "Do you know what you need? You need a bit of tiger's eye," and then suddenly they're buying it, or you go, um, "Yeah, I do." It was sort of. I don't actually know how I got into buying them. Maybe just. I don't even know where it came from. I must have just thought, "Oh, I need a bit of faith or a bit of hope in
Yeah.
something," and then it became sort of a collection. But it started with me getting yellow citrine for work
Mm.
for auditions and things like that. I think that was where it was sort of born. And then to the point, I'm not as diehard on it as I was, but when I did my Bat Out of Hell audition, I put 3 crystals in the room that I felt would, for different things, work prosperity, to calm me
Mm.
down, do all this.
Would you say you're a spiritual person?
Yeah, I definitely believe that we're sort of all connected and we're all, yeah, more so that I believe in sort of the universe and a power that we're all
Mm.
connected to everything. You know, when you do good, you get good, and that those things that are older than us can give
Yeah.
us some wisdom and help us, and they have their beliefs for a reason. Yeah, so I suppose it's a really odd one, but yeah, I'll sort of buy into anything, I think, but it brings me calm. And
Yeah.
I've had periods where people have given me crystals and they've at least worked, even if they're placebo. I've had them in the dressing room and I've used them on that night and I
Mm.
felt good about it.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I think it's a weird thing about crystals. At one point they look pretty,
Mm,
but I also think when you have them with you, it's like a different feeling. I don't
mm.
know. Is it just the mind that's playing tricks on us,
Probably,
like a
yeah. It's like
placebo or something?
it's a bit like, is it Eckhart Tolle that tells you to go and look at a tree, like when you need to just focus on something? It's like a flower that never dies, right?
Mm,
It just brings you into the present when you hold it or you look at it and
mm.
you feel something or you notice something on it. I think it's probably that. Yeah, I love them and I carry them and I collect them and they're in my house all the time. They're everywhere. Every surface has got some sort of crystal on it. Front and side, some of which you've given me, Leah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've got. I mean, there's quite a lot of yellow citrine there in front of on that fireplace. I must have been really desperate for a job.
Yeah, one day I have to show you my collection because it's upstairs.
Yeah, some people have like these huge amethyst, and yeah,
Oh wow, I would love
I
that.
haven't
No,
got
I
anything
only
like
have
that.
like some small ones,
Little
like
ones.
just like you. And for those who are just listen to the audio, you're wearing a necklace with a crystal right now. Do you
Yeah, I've
know
got so,
what
no,
is
I've
it?
got, I don't actually know what that one is.
It's black,
Yeah, it's black and
obsidian,
white.
tourmaline.
It's not obsidian. I've got so much obsidian. Obviously, when I was in bat, I got a lot of obsidian.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what that one is, to be fair, which is bad. I normally have a white one that's white and black. You'd probably know what that was
Mm.
called. It begins with an A, and that's good for sleep. But I
Oh.
changed it today. I just put this one on today, but I don't
Oh,
recall.
you can like put it out and change it?
Yeah, look.
I need something like this. Where do you got this?
There's a shop in Seven Dials called the Astrology Shop.
Okay. Perfect. Need to go there and
Pop,
get one of those.
pop it out. I'll have bought something that I needed at the time and go, yeah, yeah. And then today I probably just thought, looks pretty.
Yeah. Okay, enough crystal talk. The fourth weird fact is you once fell into the Thames while kayaking. I saw
Oh
it on
God,
your Instagram
Instagram,
that
yeah.
there's a post where you just there was a kayak and totally
That
wet.
was, I thought that was so fun. It's good memory. It was my birthday actually, and I said all I want to do for my birthday is
Kayaking it.
to kayak down the Thames, and
How did you
we
came
kept
up with
moving.
this idea?
I'd seen someone do it, and I thought, well, that
Yeah.
looks so
Ah,
fun.
okay.
You can do like cool ones like that. Have you seen I don't know if you've seen the ones like hot tugs, where there's a hot
Yeah.
tub, and yeah,
Mm,
but I like the exercise of the actual being the rower, and
of course.
so said, let's do this, and we kept moving it to find a day that would be sunny. Eventually, looking at the weather, we're like, that's the one day of the week that's
Mm,
sunny. And I only had a week off that, and of course, it was the one day of the week that rained.
yeah, of course.
And I was out kayaking, and stupidly didn't really think about the fact I saw a set of steps, and I thought I really need a wee. So I thought I'll go in the bushes over there, but
Yeah.
I need to kayak up to it and then get on the steps. Now these steps are never used and they were covered in sort of algae, moss. They're so slippy. So I went to put one foot on them. The boat moved the other way because obviously I hadn't tied it to
I
anything.
am.
So I start doing a Bridget Jones like Hugh Grant split, and then the whole kayak just subsides. So then it's like, okay, well, I need to get the bag, and nothing was in wet bags. Get my phone, everything was soaking, and then the boat was filled with water. So I had to get back in the boat, try and get some of the water out, but it was still gradually sinking
Mm,
down. So I was eventually I managed to get it to a side that had gravel on, so I could get off, pull the boat up, empty it. But
I just love it.
yeah, but I love the story of it.
Yeah, and I just found it. Your shoes are very interesting for kayaking.
I'm always in a
How do you come up
Birkenstock.
with Birkenstocks for kayaking? You
I'm
love
on
the adventure, right? You just love the adventure.
I've always got a Birkenstock on these in house, but
Yeah. I got mine here.
yeah, I'm always in them.
Okay, and the last one is I needed to pick that out because it was so much fun. You once sang in a restaurant full of Battle of Hell fans during a bottomless brunch.
Yeah, so my friend Tom, who I is the friend that I left at the marathon, the one that we started, I was like, bye. He is a good friend of mine, Martha's actually, and he works for that restaurant company,
Mm.
and he asked us to come and do. He had this idea that we should come and do that, and we were like, oh, I don't know if anyone will come. Now, what I will say is, he was
It
like,
was
this
sold
might
out,
work.
wasn't it?
This time it was sold out, but they made no money. He thought it was going to make profit for the restaurant, but
Oh,
because everyone drank so much,
that's true.
they were like, we actually, they were like, we made a loss. We made such a loss because all the Bad Pal fans drink so
Oh
much.
no. Oh
No, I
my
mean
gosh.
it was a
I
great
feel
day, but
bad.
they had great ideas of doing like one every month with different things, and then they really
Mm,
realized, people are going to get that fill on these. Yeah, it was
yeah.
so much fun. It was so much fun. That was like the most surreal, funny thing though. We had such a giggle doing
Yeah, me too.
that.
because it was so weird. You're sitting in a restaurant with people, and then suddenly, yeah, you're bursting into a song,
A
and
song, and everyone stood on the chairs, or
yeah,
I was stood on chairs, and yeah,
that
we were having
was
a great time.
so cool. This is one of
Yeah, it
my
was fun.
favorite memories from the last year because I
Yeah,
made so many friends this day and had a really good time.
yeah, it was a great laugh. I think that was the day before the marathon. That
Yeah,
was the Saturday. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I had a lot of prosecco. You probably hadn't had a drink at all because of the marathon and everything.
That was so silly.
I was just so up
I
for Glenn.
I did that on the Saturday, the marathon on the Sunday, and started with rock on the Monday. It was crazy. And I
Crazy
got back
time.
from Miami on the Friday. I was just so scheduling myself back to back. I loved it
I will repeat it. This man is a beast.
though.
Glenn, you did it. The weird facts, the interview. Do you have anything you want to share or tell the audience or people who are listening this
Oh
podcast?
no, I think just thank you for listening. I hope I wasn't boring.
You're never boring. Shall we say goodbye to the
Goodbye.
to the audience? Bye.
Goodbye,
Thanks.
everyone. Thank you for having me. Bye
Yeah.
bye.